This video reveals research that tannic acid, the phenolic compound in red wine, suppresses the COVID-19 virus. Hi, Steve Myers, alcohol educator and wine consultant with Plaza Liquors in Pasadena, Maryland. Welcome to another segment of Simple Alcohol Management. In January 2021, a research study by a group of scientists in Taiwan was published in the American Journal of Cancer Research. It proved that COVID-19 virus can be suppressed by tannic acid, a phenolic found in several fruits but abundant in red wine. The study referenced cancer research that identified a protein on the surface of human cells called TMPRSS2 that is important to prostate cancer progression. It is also a key player in cellular entry by the SARS viruses like COVID-19. TMPRSS2 is a protein on the surface of a human cell. TM stands for transmembrane or transporter into the cell. PRS or protease is a protein enzyme. S2 is an amino acid called serine. This is a recreation of Dr. Richard Moore's description of the activity of the human cell in his book, The Hypertension Solution. Certain substances have access into the cell, while the membrane keeps others out. Rejected items can gain access by attaching to a transporter. For instance, glucose cannot enter without the hormone insulin. Cancer researchers have identified the transmembrane is responsible for transporting free radicals into the cell. Once inside, it wreaks havoc. The abstract of the study identifies the transporter as responsible for the COVID virus gaining access and infecting the cell. This is critical for viral promulgation, for viruses need a host cell. Researchers have discovered that tannic acid inhibits not only the transmembrane, but also the virus. So the common denominator between cancer and virology research is the transmembrane that provides transport into the cell. So what are tannic acids? In the industry, we don't use the term tannic acid. We use the word tannins. The acid reference comes from its association with gallic acid or ellagic acids. According to the Wine Educator Study Guide in 2017, tannins are astringent, bitter compounds found in the skins, seeds, and stems of grapes. They are also found in oak barrels. These compounds form part of the structure or backbone of big red wines. Tannins are a natural preservative and help protect red wines from oxidation during the aging process. When present in wine, tannins are easily recognizable by the textual drying sensation they create in the mouth. Chemistry textbook, The Principles of Food Chemistry, identified tannins as polyphenolic compounds present in many fruits. They are important as color compounds and also for their effect on taste as a factor in astringency. They form reversible bonds with, among other things, proteins. We've been told since the beginning of the pandemic that SARS viruses are proteins. Tannins have a binding effect to protein. In the red wine diet, Dr. Roger Corder, a cardiology researcher, describes tannins as an astringent sensation in the mouth. Astringency, often referred to as mouth puckering, is caused by the polyphenols in wine interacting with proteins in your saliva. This interaction causes the lubricant effect of saliva to be temporarily lost. This is a recreation of Dr. Corder's hierarchy of the polyphenols in wine. Polyphenols are branched into two groups, flavonoids and non-flavonoids. Flavonoids have three subgroups. Non-flavonoids have two, resveratrol and ellagic tannins, of which tannins are a member. Remember, tannins bind to protein. But how do tannins provide a protective effect to such a potentially dangerous virus? This is one of the tables from the study. It lists the dietary sources of fruit compounds shown to be active in suppressing SARS infection. Notice that grapes are the only fruit that provide every bioactive compound. This is a graph from the study that charts the effectiveness of inhibiting the SARS virus with certain fruit compounds. The two columns on the left are the control groups. The other columns are various compounds found in fruits, all of which are present in red wine. You can see the noted compounds like quercetin and resveratrol have little effect suppressing the virus, and procyanidins, the heart-healthy compound, inhibits only about 40%. But tannic acid negates 90% of the virus from invading the human cells. The paper states tannic acid is a promising direct inhibitor of the SARS-CoV-2 main protein enzyme. This is a graph from the study that shows the rapid response of tannic acid to the SARS virus. Notice that the docking of tannins to the virus is measured in seconds, not in weeks, days, or even hours. This means that as soon as the virus enters the body, tannic acid is attacking the virus and protecting the cells. What the researchers have identified is a chemistry concept called ionic exchange. Ionic exchange is a reversible interchange of an ion present on a solid with another ion in the solution surrounding the solid. It occurs by binding. One example is the water softening system for homes with hard water. Water from the well is pumped into your home. It is directed to the softening system where it flows through a brine tank. The hardness compounds bind to the other positively charged electrolytes. This is fairly simple stuff. Millions of homes have water treatment systems. Another example of ionic exchange occurs during the clarification process in winemaking. One of the steps after fermentation is the fining of the wine. A fining agent like egg whites, a protein, is introduced to the must. The heavier compound drops to the bottom as sediment. The remaining wine is transferred to a separate tank. The cardiovascular system is another example of ionic exchange. Fats from your diet travel through the bloodstream. Tannins from food and drink are introduced. Fats like low-density lipoproteins bind to tannins. The heavier compounds are removed from the body. I just gave you 3 examples of ion exchange. 2 involve tannins binding with protein. Let's go back to the study and learn how tannins inhibit the virus. This graph shows the ability of tannic acid to block cell entry by the SARS virus at different doses. When the units of tannic acid increased, the infection efficiency decreased substantially. As you saw in a previous graph, tannins inhibit the COVID-19 virus by 90%. Here is another graphic from the study showing the actual binding of tannins to the virus. The binding is an example of ionic exchange by way of adsorption. According to the researchers, this activity prevents the virus from invading the cells of the body. Remember, the SARS-CoV-2 virus is a protein. Virus enters the body through the mouth, nose, or eyes. Tannins in the diet bind to the virus, preventing it from attacking cells. These studies prove that people who get sufficient amounts of tannic acid have less chance of catching COVID, for it provides a protective effect to the body. So now you might be asking, how much? People think because of my work I drink a lot of wine. You are looking at my weekly consumption, about a bottle. There's 4 ounces in the glass. There's 6 servings in the bottle. That's about a glass a day. However, I get 4 times more tannic acid from here. This is my daily servings of fruit. The study identified tannic acid is derived from berries, grapes, persimmons, and pomegranates. I don't eat persimmons or pomegranates, but I eat a lot of berries and a serving of red table grapes every day. Thanks for tuning in to Simple Alcohol Management. My name is Steve Myers. Make sure you view all our videos on youtube.com. You can subscribe for free to get all future segments.